The writers are not that far ahead, so back when they were doing episode 6, say, they had no idea what was going to happen in episode 19. Neither did I, neither did anyone else. Well, there is no one else. They're the writers. So it was just a throw of the dice. They looked at the calendar and they said, that looks about right. And I said, yes, okay, put me down. It's an unusual structure in that it's really it's almost like two short stories happening in parallel. There's very little connection between the two of them, but we just go backwards and forwards between two parallel short stories, one of which occurs away from the hospital between me and Wilson. It comes at you very fast when you're actually sitting in the chair. It's quite interesting. I suppose it should make me more sympathetic to other directors. It probably won't. Actually, I look forward to getting back out of the chair and then being snide about the director. That's my hope. Can't wait for that in a few days' time. But when you're in the chair, yeah, no, it does come at you very quickly. It is absolutely thrilling, but it is, it's a load, it's a responsibility. You have this vast machine of it's about 250 people, roughly 250 working parts to the machine, and they're all looking for answers and direction and purpose and what are we doing and why and what's the goal, and it's a responsibility, particularly because actors, I suppose, are so used to being, to some degree, being led, or at least operating independently. They don't, and suddenly to be in command, as it were, is not something that actors are that accustomed to. We don't sort of grow up inside a hierarchical structure. We don't sort of get promoted through the ranks to lead other actors necessarily. This episode, the one that I've been given, contains an immensely powerful storyline for the character of Wilson, Robert Sean Leonard's character. And I feel, well, first of all, very honored. I also feel a tremendous obligation to do him justice, to do him, Robert, as an actor, justice, and also to do the character justice. I try to tread lightly around them because I realize it must be a bit odd for them to suddenly, their job is the same, but they're having to treat someone else whose job has changed radically, poacher turned gamekeeper, as it were. They're being very generous and very accommodating, and whether or not they go out, around the back and start bitching about me as soon as my back is done, I don't know. If they are, they're hiding it well, and that's all that I ask. Just hide it well. They're incredibly skillful, and they were able to do, I can give what I think is a little tiny adjustment. I'm not sure if I have expressed that correctly, or whether I've given too much detail or not enough, or what, I wonder if they've really got what I mean. And then they just sort of go and absolutely do it, which is a complete thrill to see one's creations come. Not that it's my creation, but you know what I mean, to see one's any sort of vision that you have realized is a thrilling thing. But our guest cast have been absolutely remarkable. We have a 7-year-old girl who you are going to hear a great deal more from in the future, I predict. If not this decade, then the next or the one after that. But this girl is going places. She's absolutely remarkable. The entire crew are completely sort of mesmerized by her. Somebody said this to me, a couple of years ago. So, well, at some point it's going to come to an end. You should start savoring. And of course, I probably won't until the last week, because that's the way my little tiny pea-sized brain operates. But just recently, I have started to think, yes, this is a hell of a thing. We did accomplish a hell of a thing here, this group of people, and I'm going to miss them very much, the ones that I don't see again. I hope some of them I will, but we will inevitably sort of be scattered to the four winds. And I will also miss the thrill of being involved in telling these stories, which I think are so, to me, have been so endlessly fascinating, and have been such a fascinating blend of tones. I don't know of another show that moves so quickly, so deftly between tragedy and wit and a sort of slapstick comedy and a sort of childish playfulness and a philosophical melancholy, and goes through all these things. Sometimes in the space of a couple of speeches, it can move through, it can touch on all these elements. And I don't know of anything else that I've ever done. I don't know of anything else that I've seen recently that tries to do that or gets anywhere close to pulling it off. When you get to the end of a body of work of this length, and I never imagined I would be doing any single role for this length of time. I mean, no actor does. Part of the reason you become an actor is that you're hoping to do different things, week by week almost. But when you get to the end of something this substantial, it's whatever heckling you may get from the back row in years to come, this can't be denied. It can't be denied, that it may not be to everyone's taste, and it may not be, some people may never even looked at it. Plenty of people will never have looked at it. But to the people who did, it made an impression, good or bad. It made an impression, and it did so to large numbers of people around the world. And that's a thing that can't be withdrawn. I feel like that's a very solid thing to be able to look back on and say, yes, I was part of that, and I'm immensely proud of it, and always will be proud of it. You can't come along and say, no, wait a minute, we've re-examined it and found that it didn't exist, and that you were the wrong, and it should actually have been, Mickey Rooney playing that part. That would have been much better. You can't really do that. Once it exists, and that's a great satisfaction. Kenneth Branagh is the only time I've been directed by a fellow actor, and it turned out well. He was great in it, and the film actually did very well. So I should take comfort from that.